Hello and welcome to another episode of the Popcorn Dialogues podcast with your hosts Nam
and Rosh.
And today we're going to be talking about Frankenstein. So if you have been enjoying all of our podcasts, please give us a follow on Spotify and Apple and any other podcast platform that you're listening to, and also follow us on our socials. We are on TikTok, we are on Instagram. We will be going on to YouTube soon. We will let you know when that happens, so you can be watching videos and listening to us on YouTube as well soon. But in the meantime, hope you enjoy this episode. It's alive! Frankenstein. Directed by
Guillermo del Toro.
Starring
GTT.
And starring
Oscar Isaac.
And
Jacob Elordi.
Oh my gosh. So welcome to another episode, and we are going to be talking about Frankenstein today. So I mean, for a bit of an unhinged story.
That was a very Frankensteinian way for me to put everybody's names together.
True. That was kind of fun.
Sorry.
Well, this is a much awaited film. Like, this is something that a lot of people have been waiting for.
Yeah.
It was announced
Look, it was announced in like February 2023.
Yeah.
And I mean, we will get into the logistics of it, but it was never meant to be Jacob Elordi. It was meant to be Andrew Garfield as the creature. And then there was the whole change up with the cast and everything. And we've been waiting for it since then, but this has been in
talks for a while.
In talks for a very, very long time. This has been around for like 10 years.
Wow.
Maybe even more than that. Guillermo has been talking about it to wanting to do it for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And it just happened that, 2023 was when they finally got the green light to do it. But yeah, here we are in 2025.
And we finally got it.
With the initial cinema release, very limited.
Yeah.
But we were lucky enough to
actually be able to go
see it on the big
screen.
Yeah. The cinema experience itself was not so great.
It was very interesting. It was not fun.
It was not fun because it was horrible, because we went to this cinema that we used to go to when we had just moved to Australia after living in India.
Village
and
Cinemas.
This is Village Cinemas in Airport West. So if anybody lives there, maybe you can sympathize. And that place
has not been renovated.
The
90s.
Since the 90s. Like, it's exactly the same as I remember.
Yeah. It's awful.
And not in a good way. Like,
the seats were broken.
The seats were awful. The place just, it smelled of old.
Yeah, it was
like,
not
if
good.
If old had a smell, that's what it was.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Anyway. And the screen was weird and was high.
It was strange.
On the wall,
it was.
And I couldn't really it was just uncomfortable. The whole experience was uncomfortable, but
the movie made up for it.
So anyway,
I'm actually just glad that we actually were able to go see it in the cinemas.
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't the only place that was showing it, but that was conveniently located for us.
Yeah.
So we were able to go there. And this was one movie that I was adamant that I'm not going to watch this on
same.
Netflix the first time.
Yeah, same.
I really, really wanted to see this in the cinema. So I'm very happy that I did that.
Been lucky enough to see all of Guillermo's other movies on the big screen. So
I haven't. Unfortunately,
no, I've except maybe Pan, because I was too young.
Yeah.
To have seen it by myself or anything. Yeah. But apart from that, I think I've seen pretty much everything. So.
To be fair, full disclosure, I have only seen Pan's Labyrinth and Shape of Water. Was it Shape of Water?
You haven't seen Crimson Peak?
Oh, sorry, Crimson Peak, not Shape of Water.
Yeah.
Crimson Peak.
Yeah.
So I've only watched.
I don't think you've seen Shape of Water, because I saw that with a friend of mine.
Yeah. So I've only watched Pan's Labyrinth and Crimson Peak, and both of those I count as two of my favorite films.
That's so good.
So even though I'm not super familiar with his body of work, I know what he kind of represents.
Yeah.
And that's why when it was announced that he was going to do it, I was super excited because he is, let's be honest, he is the man who loves the monsters.
Yeah.
Right? So he's the man
loves
for the monsters.
He loves
his monsters.
Sympathetic monster.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's chat quickly about the book first.
Yeah.
What inspired the film? What is the basic storyline? And then we'll talk about the movie. So the book is written by Mary Shelley, very famously. She wrote this during, I think she was living in Switzerland at the time. So the book is set in Switzerland.
Yeah.
As
So
well.
famously, it was the idea came up during a trip to Switzerland with her husband, Percy Bysshe Shelley, and Lord Byron.
Yeah.
And it was basically, they all had to like write a ghost story.
Yeah.
And this is sort of what her mind came up with because she herself had gone through quite like traumatic experiences of like losing her children during childbirth and wanting to explore what creation and life means basically, and what comes with the consequences of thinking that you can create that yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that was the basis of what she had written. It was like 1816, I believe, when this happened, and then the novel debuted in 1818. So and then like I think like 4 years after that, her husband died. So,
it was pretty quick.
So it was pretty quick.
Yeah, it was different. Like it kind of sets the stage for a lot of science fiction literature. Yeah, really, that is to follow. Yeah. And you know, it brings these visuals to your mind. When you think of Frankenstein, you have these very iconic visuals of, you know, black and white, you know, monsters in, you know, the it's alive bit, right? Even though that's never actually part of the book. Yeah. So the book is really an exploration of, as you said, creation. Yeah. And when you can go too far with creation. Yeah. Whether it is in our hands to create something. Yeah. And whether it is in our hands to play God, essentially. That's the core of the story. Yeah. So you have Victor Frankenstein, who is young, he is curious, he is very coddled by his family. His family loves him. He actually has a very good childhood. Yeah. And then he is very curious about science and philosophy and nature. And so he pursues science and chemistry and all of that stuff. And in his pursuit, he decides on creating the spark of life. And he goes through this gory task of putting bodies together. Yeah. And he sparks life, it comes to life, and then he abandons it because he's so disgusted with himself. And when he abandons the monster, that's when the monster reacts to that abandonment. Yep. Because he is seeking connection to his father, to his creator. And then he puts Victor Frankenstein to he basically tortures him mentally. And so that's essentially it. It's called the modern Prometheus because it's after the myth Prometheus, where Prometheus defied,
I mean, this is basically her retelling of that.
Defied the gods and gave fire to the humans, and then the consequences of that was that he suffered for it. And that's basically what this is. So it's such the novel is so beautifully written. I had never read it before. You had read it before.
Yeah, I did it in uni. Yeah.
And I had read, actually, I had read shortened version as a kid. So we used to have like classics that were abridged, like the shortened versions of them. I remember it was Frankenstein, Count of Monte Cristo, Man in the Iron Mask, all of these ones. Yeah. And our school library used to have them. So I remember reading it. So I knew the basic storyline. Yeah. But I had never read it as an adult. So I was very curious about this. And because I've been struggling with reading, I was like, all right, I'm going to get back into reading, and this is the book that I'm going to jump into. Yeah. And you know me, I can read 5 books
At once. Yeah.
But I didn't do that with this one. I actually...
I cannot.
I mean, it usually depends on my mood how I can read. But with this one, I actually wanted to immerse myself into this.
Yeah.
And I'm very glad that I did that. I took my time. It took me about a month to finish reading it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to rush through it. I went back and I would reread sections. I would look up things, references and stuff like that. I wouldn't say I studied it.
Yeah.
But I definitely went more in depth into it than I would usually do. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I just fell in love with this book. It's just so beautiful. And I think perfectly put together by Guillermo del Toro. I think he's done an amazing job.
I would agree.
Of that. He's taken the essence of what the film is. Like we've just done recently our episode on adaptations.
Yeah.
And what was one thing that we said, the conclusion that we came
that a good adaptation isn't something that, like, you know, basically takes it as is and just puts it on screen.
Yeah.
Like, you have to adapt it in ways that are going to be relatable to a wider set of people.
Yeah, and a newer audience. Yeah.
And like still hold the essence, of course, but but add a different like feel to it
and perspective.
And perspective.
Yeah.
And I think he's definitely done that because, you know, I think one of the things has been like, oh, a lot of people are like, oh, it's really different, and oh, it's, you know, I don't think it's as good or whatever. And again, you can hold that opinion. That's fine. I'm not saying that. But I think you really have to look at it as like Shelley wrote it as a really personal story. She wrote it like her parents were like ultra famous. Like her father was James Godwin, who was a philosopher. And her mother is Mary Wollstonecraft.
I know, right?
Who was a human rights activist.
Exactly,
like
a women's rights activist.
A women's rights activist, I should say.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big deal.
That's a lot to live up to.
And Mary Wollstonecraft died like 11 days after Shelley was born, like Mary Shelley was born.
Yeah. So that legacy.
So she didn't really know her mother.
Yeah.
So in writing the creature and wanting to be accepted by Victor, it's kind of like she wrote that about her mother. Right?
Yeah.
So it's very, very personal to her and what she was trying to portray.
Yeah.
And what Guillermo has also done has taken what is really personal to him, which is fathers and sons, a story about, you know, and, you know, we can talk about it a little bit more when we talk about Oscar Isaac, I guess. But really taking what he has experienced and imbibing that in the story. Like making it personal to him. So, yes, in doing that, there are some changes. But I don't think that takes away from the importance of the story.
Yeah, I agree.
I personally don't think so.
I agree.
Because it's just a different lens. Like, that was a very much, like, so Oscars has been describing as, like, Guillermo was like, that is very much a 19th century European story. This is very much like a Mexican, Latino, Catholic story. You know? Of forgiveness at the end and what that means.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's really important too.
I agree with that. I think initially I will say I haven't changed my position. I love the movie. I really do love the movie. And I did mention this. I made a TikTok about it while I was doing my makeup. Thank you. And one of the things I said was that the changes in the film from the book sort of changed the motivations for the characters. But I think that's okay because I think in the video it sort of comes off as a little bit of a negative. I didn't mean it that way. I honestly
I don't think so. But anyway,
But what I basically was trying to make is say was, because remember when we were talking about the adaptations bit? Whenever you create a piece of media, the creator of the media product has to have an intention behind it. So not only are you taking someone else's piece of work, you're adapting it to yourself because you have a particular intention behind it. And I think the changes that he made fits within his intention,
Yeah.
while still respecting what Shelley has produced.
Yes, because had he adapted it straight as it is, you know, with the lens of Mary Shelley, right? It wouldn't be true to who he is as a director and who he is as a man and a person.
Yeah.
Like, you can't take someone else's thing and be like,
own.
I'm going to make it exactly how it is.
Yeah.
Because, you know, even like how we were talking about in our adaptations, like Pride and Prejudice, BBC 6-part series is completely different to
from the film.
The film is very much like visually romantic and you know, so in that way he's taken the Jane Austen effect, but he's not like, you know, digging up Jane Austen's grave, like you know, like doing some ritual with her bones and being like, I now am possessed by Jane Austen, therefore I'm making this film. Do you get what I mean? Like, it's such a weird analogy, I know, but like it's not like he's taking Mary Shelley and, you know, using that. He's using what he knows, what he has,
his experience
has been. So like, you can't like, and if you were making it, or if I were making it,
it would be different.
It would be totally different, you know? So I think everybody's interpretation of Frankenstein
going to be different,
Like, even the Boris Karloff, the original movies, the 1930s movies, are also completely different. They're the ones that have kind of come the closest in terms of adapting the story. But, you know, completely different.
I think I think this is a great segue into things like performances, performance-wise. So one of the things that I think really works for the film is the cast. I think the cast was very thoughtful. I think the cast was very much, you can definitely tell this was not like, oh, let's pick the most popular people right now and let's put them all together in this movie that's going to be a conversation piece, right? It does not come off as that. I think every person cast for whichever character was very thoughtful. And I think starting with Oscar Isaac, because I remember when I watched the trailer first time, and I had just finished reading the book, and I was like, I love Oscar Isaac. And I was like, why would he be picked for Victor Frankenstein? Because he's so young, Frankenstein in the book. He's quite young still. Like, I would imagine he's in like his late 20s possibly. Oscar clearly is not.
No.
Right?
He's a 46-year-old man.
Clearly is not. And even though
he's a beautiful man nonetheless.
Probably playing a little bit younger, but you know, he clearly isn't. Right? So that was one thing. And I was like, oh, that's kind of an interesting choice, but okay, fine. I honestly cannot think of anybody else who would play him. You know, were there any other people that were in like the running?
I can't remember who, because
I haven't heard
in
anything.
The running. Well, I know I read through like the production stuff, but I'm blanking on now. There must have been. There always is. But I think eventually it did very much become like, that Guillermo was pretty much only talking to Oscar about it, because they had a lunch together. Where it wasn't even that they were talking about the movie or anything. They were just meeting and just having lunch, and they started talking about you know, Guillermo was talking about him and his father, and like then him also becoming a father himself, and then Oscar was talking about the same sort of thing. And like, as they were talking during that lunch, Guillermo was basically like, you have to be Victor Frankenstein. And this is without even Oscar knowing that Frankenstein was in development, right? And he was like, what are you talking about? He was so confused. He's like, oh, I'm like thinking of not thinking. It is in development. It will probably happen in the next year or two or however long. And I would like you to be, now that we're here, I think it needs to be you. And Oscar was like, oh, yeah.
No questions.
No questions.
Definitely.
Always wanted to work with you. So if this is the opportunity, then sure, let's go for it. So
and I think he was perfectly cast. He's so good. Like, he's good in everything he does, right? And so one of the things I did sort of mention, and again, it kind of makes sense for that change in personality, because he is a different Victor Frankenstein. He's not the same as in the book. So one of the big changes that is in the film versus the book is that Victor's relationship with his father and his parents in general. In the book, he's had a pretty idyllic life with his parents. His parents love him a lot. His parents are quite kind and loving and virtuous people. In the film, his father is clearly abusive to his mother. His father is abusive to him. It's that very antagonistic relationship. It's not to say that in the book that's not the case either. Yeah. Because, Victor does have like a little bit of tension with his dad. Yeah. Especially when he wants to, the scientific direction he wants to go in, and his father's kind of like, but why? Yeah. Doesn't really get it. So he pushes back. Yeah. But not to the extent that it is in the film. Yeah.
And I think it's like this in the film, like it is, emphasized is like we're saying, because of the father and son's theme that is sort of running through. Yeah. But I think it's also a more simple thing in the fact that on the page it can read loud, but on the screen it might not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you kind of have to build things up and make them a little bit more, like intensify them a bit.
Exactly, yeah.
Because if you don't, it doesn't really make for an interesting...
Yeah, you want to emphasize that tension. You want to emphasize that.
Like, and if you don't emphasize the tension on screen, like, you're kind of just going to fizzle out. You know? And that's right at the start. So it really needs to have a punch.
Yeah.
So...
And that kind of changes the motivation for Victor in the film as well. Because in the book, his motivation is very much just his curiosity, really. Yeah. And in the movie, it's definitely his curiosity, but it's also... to prove himself to be the best and to do the most, crazy out there thing that anyone's ever thought of. Yeah. But again, it doesn't take away from the story. I think it just exaggerates that,
adds another level to
folly
the character
of man, and that hubris that Shelley so wanted to show.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think that was great.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that. So, so I think Oscar has always been on. I think Mia Goth also started like in early talks as well, when we finally knew that it was happening. Yeah. And then of course Andrew Garfield was supposed to be around too, but then like scheduling conflicts happened with I think it was Spider-Man.
Oh. Really?
Like something to do with Spider-Man, or then like something or some other project. Something happened anyway. Yeah. And he had to pull out. And so I think Jacob Elordi came on just a few months before they were supposed to start filming.
Can I be honest? Yeah. When they announced...
I know what you're going to say.
That Jacob Elordi was going to be the monster, I was like... Ooh.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were not so sure.
Because that was straight after Saltburn.
And look, Guillermo watched that and he found something very interesting about him. I would say
Saltburn. Jacob Elordi was the best thing
part
about
it.
Saltburn.
Yeah, to be honest. Yeah. I think he was the most intriguing character in that. And so he obviously watched it, saw something that he liked, and, knew that he had his creature, basically. Yeah. And so, they were talking a little bit about, like, how it all happened. And Jacob was like, he just handed me, like, a baby book. And he's like, what do I do with this? And he's like, learn about development of a child, because that's basically what the creature is like.
He's a baby.
He's a baby. It's new life from all kinds of parts. Yeah. But there isn't just one person. It's, so it's like he has so much going on that he can't, narrow in on anything. Yeah. So it is like he's a baby learning everything for the first time. So yeah, that was really interesting. And he was talking about how, like, as he was learning and sort of like trying to come up with like a visual language for the creature, and like started journaling as the creature and everything as well. So I thought that was really cool.
That's
too,
so interesting.
Like, he's like, as I was having thoughts about like what he could be on screen, I just started writing them down
from his perspective.
From that perspective. So I just like, that's really cool.
That's so cool.
That's really cool. Like, I've never heard a lot of people say that they've done that. So
one of the things in one of the interviews they were talking about, so Mia Goth's character is Elizabeth. She is the love interest. They've changed it a little bit in the book. In the film. In the book, she grows up with Victor. She's adopted by Victor's parents. They're not blood related, but she was like, I think, a family friend's daughter who died, and they take her in.
Yeah.
And they grow up together and they fall in love and they get married. However, in the book, in the movie, she's shown as Victor's younger brother's fiance.
Yeah.
They meet as adults, so it's a little bit different there, and that's okay. One of the things that happens in the film, which I loved, I think was amazing to watch, is the fact that Elizabeth interacts with the creature.
Yes.
Because that never happens in the book.
Yeah.
And her interactions with the creature are beautiful.
Yeah.
She's so loving and caring, and one of the things they were talking about is basically she started Mia Gott started sending like care packages to Jacob.
Yeah.
And things like
vitamin
C shots and like things like that, and just like taking care of him.
Yeah.
And they were talking about method acting and why is method acting always a negative thing? Why is it not a positive thing?
Yes. Yeah.
Because you always hear of actors
like,
doing method acting and being gigantic, horrible a-holes to everyone. Yeah. But you never hear, oh, this person's method acting. They're so lovely and taking care of everyone.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was a really...
That was really, I loved that.
I
loved hearing that. I thought that was really sweet.
The biggest change that I loved was the whole Elizabeth thing.
Yeah.
Because in the book, you don't really see much about Elizabeth. You don't actually, she doesn't have much agency.
Yes.
Whereas in this, she's very much her own person. She has a mind. She speaks up. She's very aware of the atrocities that are going on in the wars. And she is so intriguing to someone like Victor. He's drawn to her, but she doesn't like him. She actually thinks he's arrogant and selfish and awful. And then the way she sees him interacting with the creature, she's all the more appalled by it. And her kindness is what is so beautiful.
And I think it's really just comes down to in the book that maybe Shelley wrote Elizabeth that way because she was young. She hadn't had many...
She's not as mature.
Many experiences out in the world yet. Or, I mean, she must have because, she was very well read and her parents, as we said, was so, influential. But, you just never know how someone might have had, like, what her thinking might have been in, like, writing Elizabeth. But, maybe she didn't...
But I think...
feel the need or... have the pull to do that.
But I think Elizabeth in the book also is important because she represents what a lot of women were at that time, which is they didn't have agency. They, had nothing and no one to take care of them. Like they were dependent on the people around them. Yeah. Like if Elizabeth had not been taken in by the Frankensteins, God knows what would have happened to her.
And I think that's the really interesting part about the movie is that, in her interacting with the creature, interacting and taking care of him in terms of like, showing him what a leaf is and like, like showing him her face and like all this stuff. And it's kind of that thing of like, she's a modern woman in a period setting, but it's also like, who knows better about rejection than women? Yeah. Like, so that's why she can relate to him. Yeah. And she already has that compassion for soldiers. Exactly. And she has that compassion for the people who are suffering. Yeah. And I think in that sense, he's really captured Elizabeth's essence from the book as well. Yeah. Because even in the book, she's described as someone who's very compassionate, who loves everyone, who takes care of people, even to her own detriment sometimes. And so, that has been captured, even though they've changed it. And I think this has been one of my favorite changes. It's just, again, more depth to the character.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I really like that relationship between her and the creature because we never get to see that in the book. Yeah. Because there isn't anyone. Yeah. And we got a bit of a hint of it in the trailer, and I remember mentioning it as well, that I'm really looking forward to the scene where, because in the book, the creature kills her. Yeah. But in this, she gets shot. Yes. By Victor, actually. Yeah. On her wedding night. So that's kind of the same, but different.
Because she's marrying the brother. Yeah.
I think in terms of the creature, as we just mentioned, like Jacob Elordi has done a great job.
Yeah.
Appearance-wise, what did you think?
I mean, appearance-wise, I think it's interesting, the art design, because that is kind of how I would sort of imagine, like, people putting together different body parts. Like, I just, like, if you really look at the line, so when you look at the human body on, like, a chart, and you see the muscle lines and everything, that's kind of what it represented to me. So that I thought was interesting.
He looked like a diagram.
He looked like a diagram.
The ones you see in the doctor's office with the muscles.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I kind of felt like.
Yeah.
And even the bit where he's putting the eye in is often like what it looks like when you've just got like the part of the skeleton that's the part of the human body that's the head. Yeah. And the eyes look really bulgy. Like when you're in a doctor's office, I'm sure people know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, like that little diagram that's there and the eye pops out.
The eye pops out. Yeah. So like that's kind of what it invoked for me at least. So I thought the art design was very interesting with the creature. And then even when like he's got like the layers and stuff on, I think, you know, his face is hidden and like he's got the scarring and everything. I thought it was great because like even like his eyes, like one is actually like
a bit milky,
and like further in than the other. So I just I thought it was very well
heard
done.
Someone saying that he was too pretty. And I agree. While I agree, yes, he was too pretty, but I was okay with that. I think because visually, like, this is the other thing. I think that's intentional. Yes. Because if you he's already considered ugly, right? Yeah. He's already considered disgusting. And
just by being what he is, he's already considered... Exactly.
He's an abomination.
An abomination, exactly. You know? He's inhuman despite being made of humans.
Exactly.
You know?
He isn't...
So that, I think you don't need to look quote unquote ugly. Yeah. In order to portray that.
I feel like then that, making him too ugly and like becoming like so gross and disgusting, it's kind of like it distracts you from the rest. Yeah. Because I can't look at stuff like that, right? Yeah. And I was terrified when this movie was coming out. I was like, oh my goodness, like, am I going to be able to, it's going to be so gross. Like, I'm not going to be able to watch it.
Oh my God. Can we talk about we'll talk about the scene of like him being put together. Yeah. Oh, because we need to, because that was low-key kind of hilarious at the same time.
But yeah, like that was something I was actually worried about. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to look, but I really could, right? Yeah. It's not something, and it sounds superficial, but it's not. Because if you make something too unseemly and ugly and, all of that stuff, I feel distracts from the main point that it's trying to make. Yeah. Yes, it is a bit prettier than maybe it could have been. Yeah. He could have been slightly uglier, I would say. Maybe a little bit more disfigured, but...
Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe, but... As you said, he seems very precise in the way Victor would put him together. Yes.
And if the whole theme is man as God, man playing God,
it's going to make him as perfect as he possibly can. He's going to make him
as perfect as he possibly can, right? Appearance-wise, everything. Because he wants it to be perfect because he's making it. So, and it's a thing of like, God made Adam. Yeah. Adam was like the perfect epitome of what a man should look like. So this is him trying to do the same thing. Yeah. So I think that's where that comes from. At least for me. Like that's kind of how I've read into it.
Yeah, I agree. But I really loved the whole creature bit. The thing that I really enjoyed was, and I'm glad that they kind of didn't remove that. My favorite part was when he goes into the forest and he, is observing the family and all that. That was my favorite part in the book. Yeah. And that was my favorite part in this as well. Yeah. And I absolutely loved it. And I think he nailed it. I loved how vulnerable he is, how sweet he is. Like, I love the bit with the little mice.
Yeah.
Where he's sitting there and the mice are all around him.
The Bible, yeah.
And he's reading the Bible and he's holding the mouse in his hand. And even when he's like lying in his little hay thing and the mice all just around, they're not scared of him.
Yeah.
You know, and that kind of, that little visual it's such powerful storytelling, because creatures like mice and, you know, whatever, they scatter, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't represent danger for them.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that was such a lovely way of showing his gentleness.
Yeah.
Like he's a gentle creature.
Yeah.
One of the things I will say I wasn't necessarily the happiest with, but I understand the reasoning behind it.
Yeah.
Is that in the book, the monster kills.
Yeah.
He genuinely kills.
Yeah.
Right? He kills Victor's younger brother, who's
Yeah.
still a child.
Yeah.
And he admits it. He kills Elizabeth.
Yeah.
He kills quite a few people.
The friend.
Yeah, he kills the friend, Clovel. Yeah. He kills quite a few people. And the goal is to torment Victor. Right?
Yeah.
Because Victor has rejected him. And he's like, you have to do what I'm asking you to do, which is make me a mate or I will never stop tormenting you.
Yeah.
And the fact that he followed through with those horrible things that he did, you still are able to feel sympathy for him, because I wouldn't say understand, you sympathize with him, because even though he's doing these horrible things, he's killing a child.
Yeah.
He's full of rage. That rage is just, it's what's driving him.
Yeah.
We never get that level of rage in this.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's my own, if there was one piece of criticism, it's that.
Yeah.
That level of rage is never reached, and that level of guilt and torment, I feel, is never reached by Victor either.
Yeah.
Like, so those extremes that we get to, and I understand Shelley putting that in, considering what she has been through. So she has herself gone through that much rage, and that much guilt and sadness. Yeah. So I understand why she would have put it in, but I also understand why in the film they did not go ahead with that, because the ending of the film in the book is completely different. Yeah. You know, based off of that. Yeah. I don't know. That's just what I think.
No. I understand what you mean, because in the book, the ending is that he never gets to the ship on time.
There's no reconciliation. Victor dies. Yeah.
Victor dies way beforehand.
Yeah.
That's just the end.
And he just says, I'll go and I'll die and you'll never see me. I'll climb into my pyre and I'll die. And burn myself to death.
Yeah. Whereas in the film, there is he gets to the ship. He gets to tell his story. Yeah. To the ship captain. Yeah. And then there is that scene at the end where Victor is lying there dying. Yeah. So he says at the end, you know, if you have it in your heart, forgive yourself into existence. If death is not to be, then consider this, my son. While you are alive, what recourse do you have but to live? But to live, yeah. He gives him his blessing. And he gives him that blessing, and he asks for the forgiveness, and he does give that forgiveness. Yeah. And the end is, you know, he leaves the ship. Yeah. And basically the sun is rising. And it, like, you know, rises on him, like the rays he can feel. And it's just... That was just visually stunning.
So
I was
beautiful.
Just like in tears by the end.
Oh my gosh, I was like
I was a mess by the end. I was just like, oh my God, that's just visually stunning. Because as we said, you know, there is no relationship as far as we know that is more contentious than a father and son. And there is also, you know, that thing of wanting to be like them, and, you know, them trying to, you know, a father trying to make a son in his image, and like all this stuff that we've learned throughout history. And, you know, it's referenced in movies so many times, and, you know, toxic masculinity comes up as the umbrella term. But to have that forgiveness was really important, because like as Guillermo said, he's taking his Catholic
Beliefs,
beliefs and roots, and again imbibing that in the story.
Yeah.
Like that was very important for him to have at the end.
Yeah, because forgiveness is
all of his movies have had some kind of theme.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a message there.
Like
there's a message of hope there at the end.
Of hope.
Yeah.
There's always something like that in his movies. So he wanted to have that at the end, and I think that was very important. And that's what, again, despite it being an adaptation, makes it different, yes, but also makes it very significant and important.
Yeah, because I like, as much as I love the ending of the original text, right? Because it makes sense for the story. The creature has done stuff that he cannot be forgiven for. Yeah. Right? Or it would be very hard for Victor to forgive him. Yeah. He has put him through hell. Yeah. Absolutely. And so you understand the ending, right? You understand why Shelley doesn't have a reconciliation. Yeah. In the same vein, the way that the creature is, it makes sense for him to have that reconciliation with Victor. Yeah. Yes, he has tormented him, but he has not done it out of, pure rage. He's done it as a reaction to what Victor has done to him. Yeah. Victor has severely wronged him because, when you compare Victor from the book in the film, Victor's very much an antagonist, I think, in this. Whereas in the book, I would say the creature is kind of the antagonist.
Sure, but right? But in making him and rejecting him and not wanting anything to do with him, he is also an antagonist.
That's what I mean. Like, they're both that, they switch places. They're interchangeable, basically, right? Yeah.
Because again, he's made him in his image.
Yeah. Whereas in the film, I think it's more clear that the creature is that Victor is the antagonist. Because right from the start, like the choices he makes, the things he does, like even when, what's the uncle who dies, yeah.
He covers it up. Mia's uncle.
Right?
Elizabeth's
uncle. He covers it up. He lies about it, right? He's very much that, what's the word? I'm not coming up with the right word. But like even the way he treats the people around him. Yeah. He's very arrogant and he's very dismissive about things. And he's very self-centered. And you can say the same thing for the book version of Victor as well. Yeah. But there is something redeemable about him there. Yeah.
But then is that just because, do people just see him that way because that's how he portrays himself and he's actually not like that?
I mean, could be. Yeah, definitely.
The whole, you could look unreliable narrator of it all.
I initially thought of that, but then I went back and I read certain passages and I was like, you know what? I don't think he's an unreliable narrator because he does agree with the things that he has done. And he says, yes, that is what I've done. And that is something that is bad that I've done. Right. Yeah. And same goes for the creature. He admits that these are the things that I've done. They're not good and, all of that stuff. So I don't think he's an unreliable narrator as I originally was thinking. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, definitely. Like we as readers and we as viewers are going to look at it, differently. Yeah. I personally think of the film version, Victor, as very much... I wouldn't say like an out-and-out antagonist.
Yeah, no.
He's not the villain of the story. I think it's,
again, just what I was saying before. It comes down to the same thing that, like, on the page it might, like, read a certain way, but, like, it wouldn't be as extensive on screen. Yeah. Like, you wouldn't be able to, not tell, but, like, it, again, wouldn't be, like, visually interesting or, like, narratively interesting to like just
something like Crimson Peak, for example, right? So I can't remember the names of the characters, but Tom Hiddleston's character, right? You could say he's an antagonist. Yeah. Right? You could say that. He tricks her into marrying her. He's, having weird relations with his sister. Right? All of this stuff. But in the end, he redeems himself because he sacrifices himself for her. Yeah. Right? To save her. Yeah. Because he genuinely loves her. Even though he has done all of this stuff that kind of makes him the villain. Not the villain, but, And that's that thing that Guillermo does really well, and he's done that really well with Victor as well. Yeah. Victor has clearly done some very wrong things. Like even the bit where he's so quick to blame everything on the creature when the creature hasn't done anything. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Whereas in the book, the creature has actually done those stuff. Things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's that difference there.
No, I understand that. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah, so I think, oh man, I just think the performances have been amazing.
Performances have been great. I think everything about it has been, again, like, I guess we should just talk about, like, the production, like, visuals and stuff. Like, I just, like, every time something would, like, open, like, another scene would start or whatever.
It's just beautiful. Like, I know, right?
The whole just time, stunning. Just, like, everything was stunning. And, I mean, it was stunning because, hello, they shot in Edinburgh, but, like...
Amazing.
In the Highlands as well.
I know.
Stunning. So that whole bit where it's the street stuff was all
Royal Mile.
Royal Mile where we were in 2023. So like just
that was exciting.
If we just like gone on like in another year, we would have been there while they were filming. But anyway,
that was so
whatever.
Fun.
But yeah. So I think the production designer's Tamara Deverell, who has also worked on like other Guillermo's productions, I think. And
nothing was AI.
And nothing was AI because AI is bullshit.
I love that.
But again, recently he was like, I would rather die than use AI. And I was like, oh, it's a bit dramatic, but it's yeah.
That's
I mean,
okay.
I would agree. Yeah. I would rather die than do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the costume designer is Kat Hawley.
The costumes.
Oh my god. Dress that Mia Goth stepped out in, I was just like, what is happening right now? It's so stunning. But yeah, and then like the whole ship scene was in just like the parking lot of the studio. Like they got rid of everything.
Wow.
They built the whole thing. So like with the mat, they put the mats down, brought all the fake snow in, all the ice and all that stuff. Built the ship.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Like to be able to still do this in this time, like actual like craftsmanship, like artistry happening still.
It's almost like it's a lost art.
Important to do it. Like, how can it be that we are forgetting about it? It's
like every time, basics of movie making.
Every time if someone says there was practical sets, practical effects, like it's so
exciting.
Like that's how it should be. That's how it needs to stay.
I honestly feel like studios are actually going to save more money with practical stuff.
I mean, true, because like,
and also generate so much more employment.
Yeah, but the thing is, they don't want to employ people. That's the problem.
That's the thing. Yeah.
And they just want to do everything in house and do it AI because that's easier for them.
AI is bullshit.
But AI is bullshit. That's my new motto. Thanks, Guillermo.
You need it on a t-shirt.
AI is bullshit. Someone do it! Oh my god, it's perfect.
Maybe we should make merch if we have enough people listening,
and write the quote as Guillermo del Toro 2025.
AI is bullshit.
AI is bullshit. Perfect. I hope he knows that I absolutely love that. But yeah, it's just everything was just so stunning. The lab was absolutely beautiful. Which took forever for them to get down and make it different, because even like how we know that it's not really described in the book. Yeah. Like it's more like it's kind of just like a mundane office.
Yeah, like it's not that's one of the things, like she doesn't really describe interiors. She takes a lot of time, passages and passages describing exteriors of like nature and
because nature was so important to creation, so that makes sense.
But not so much the interiors.
Not so much the interiors, because I mean,
and that helps because it kind of really kind of allows the creator to kind of put their own spin on things.
Put the spin on things. So it was it took a lot of time. I think it took like, how many months did it take? I can't remember several months to like build that set, put everything in. And it was funny because the day that they were filming the big thunderstorm scene and like with the mist coming out of the thing, like it did not work. And it just like they kept like not working, and Oscar was just like, how are we gonna do this? Like I was like, and like just act around it. We'll figure it out. He's like, what's happening? And then like suddenly it just went, started working. And he's like, all right, go. Keep rolling.
That's so good.
Like,
Oh my gosh,
just, like,
that is amazing.
But it was funny because they were talking about like how sometimes, so because, you know, it is that very much, they're both Latino men, Mexican and Guatemalan, and, you know, they would talk to like each other in Spanish, right? And then like during the time that he would be acting as Victor, Guillermo would be like, all right, give me Maria Cristina, like you know, like like the Maria Cristina is like when you stop and you look back really dramatically. That like from like Spanish to like
That's
you know
so
telenovelas
funny.
and stuff. Like give me Maria Cristina, give me Maria Cristina. He was just like, this is the weirdest like process I've ever heard of.
They have their own language.
But he was like, but I get it. Like, it's like, it makes sense to me. So, like, the fun that was had, even while making a movie that has so, like, has so much seriousness to it, but just, you know, being able to, like, collaborate with people who understand you.
Yeah.
Is literally the biggest gift that you can have.
I think one of the, like, okay, we have to talk about the gory scenes.
Oh, the him putting. Okay, we have to talk
not
about
just that, but even the bit that really got me was the bit with where he's doing the testing. And that body is sort of lying folded over.
Folded over, yeah.
And then he's like, oh, wrong place.
One.
And then he puts the thing in the correct one. And he just wakes up and he just goes, ah!
Yeah, that was the one that got me. I was like, because the one that he does as the demonstration to the people in the university didn't really get me so much. Because it's a bit further out of focus.
It's further out of focus. And you kind of expect that something weird is going to happen.
That was also practical. There was people puppeteering that.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Whereas the man one that got me. I was like, oh my god, that is so scary.
Yeah, that really got me too. I was like,
that was terrifying.
That was so terrifying. But the bit that gets me, because weirdly it's so comical, and I'll tell you why, is Victor putting the body together.
I didn't watch it. I'll be honest. I watched some of it.
I watched some of it, but not like
the sounds were enough.
Sounds were a little like, I was like, ooh. But it was literally like him, like as he would be sawing something, right? The action of it was just like so like quick and hilarious, and the music would be like,
the music was insane, wasn't it?
And it was all like really
the
like
contrast of the scene with the music.
Yeah, it was
amazing.
Upbeat jazz, basically.
Loved it.
Like 19th century jazz.
It was
whatever.
Absurd.
It was absurd,
basically,
and I loved that
because what's happening on screen is absurd.
It's crazy that
it's
this man is trying to put body parts together to reanimate. The
bit that made me not giggle, but I had like a bit of a moment.
It was weirdly hilarious.
It was
the whole thing.
It was when he's tracking those body bags.
Yes, blood everywhere, streaking everywhere. Yeah,
so disgusting.
And then he just like drops them, like you know. I was like,
it's just so morbid and gross and just.
But again, that carelessness of what he's doing,
right?
You know,
absolutely.
Not just carelessness and thinking that he can do this.
The carelessness,
but the carelessness
of
humanity that he has cut up.
Those are dead soldiers.
Yeah.
Like someone is waiting for those people, and what have you done to them?
Yeah,
you're literally treating them like garbage. They're like waste.
Yeah,
instead of being given a proper burial and dignity. Like there's no dignity there
in what he's doing.
And that absurdity of him putting it together into this human who then you don't afford the dignity either.
Yeah,
because he literally looks at him and goes, oh yeah, I've created this. He's gross and disgusting.
I'm gonna chain him up in the...
I'm gonna treat him like absolute crap.
Yeah.
You know? And oh my gosh, like the absurdity of it. It's just, it's amazing. And I thought it was brilliant.
It's just put together so beautifully. And
I think there's one thing that we should talk about, which Guillermo talked about. Elizabeth dies.
Yes.
On her wedding day. So she's not married yet
wedding
to
night.
William.
Yeah.
In the book, it's her wedding night. They already married, her and Victor. But in the movie, she and William are about to get married.
Yes.
And the creature follows him.
Yeah.
And he comes, and Elizabeth's happy to see him. So she already knows who he is, and they're talking. And there's a scuffle, and she gets shot.
Yeah.
And so the creature carries her to this cave where she dies.
Yeah.
And it's like this mini little love story between them.
Yeah.
It is romantic.
It is, yeah.
It is romantic. It's
because she's the only one, as we said, has shown him that compassion and shown him that care and love. That how could he not feel anything? And how could she not feel anything?
How could she not feel anything for him? And, you know, in a perfect world, maybe she might have been one who would accept him.
Yeah.
You know, for who he is, what he looks like, who he is, like the way he's been created and all of that.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing that I love about Frankenstein in general, like in the story in general, is this question that, you know, every human grapples with.
Yeah.
Is your identity. Who are we?
Yeah.
You know, because one of the biggest, like, most heartbreaking scenes in the film is when he goes back to the castle.
Yeah.
Because he needs to kind of figure out who he is.
Yeah.
And the creature goes back to the castle, and it's all destroyed and it's all burnt down. And he finds like a, I don't know what you would call it. It's not a photograph. It's like a film sort of a thing of his face when he was being created. So it's all weird and malfunction. And he puts it on his own face, kind of like to match it. Oh my God, I bawled in that moment. I was like, this is just heartbreaking. Yeah. And that whole, like, I love the fact that, yes, it's about, you know, forgiveness. It's about all of that. But very much so that story of identity carries, like, who are we?
Who are we? Yeah.
As humans, with our connections, because the story is very much about connection as well.
Yeah.
Like in the book, the book actually starts with the captain. In the movie, the captain doesn't really have that much to do, other than, you know, he rescues Frankenstein. But in the book, we get a lot of the captain and his thoughts. Yeah. Because it's the captain's story. It's like a story within a story within a story. Because we get the captain's story, then we get Victor's story, then within Victor's story, we hear the creature's story. Yeah. Right? I think it's called like a frame setup or something like that. And in the captain's story, there's this theme of connection because he's so isolated and he's lonely and his men are dying and he's just sort of at that brink of like, what have I done? And it's that loneliness and connection. And the same thing for Victor. You know, the connection with Elizabeth, with his family, with, you know, all of that stuff. And then the guilt of what he's done. And then, of course, within the creature story, it's about connection and loneliness. And he wants a companion. He wants someone to accept him. It's that running theme of who are we without a person? Yeah. You know, without a community, without a village. Yeah. We are no one. Yeah. And like in this day and age where we are grappling with things like, you know, racism and people not accepting who you are and all of that, it's so pertinent. I feel like that discussion, that theme in the film. Yeah. And he's done it so sensitively as well. Yeah. Yeah. Within that parent-child relationship. I don't know. I just I agree. Beautiful.
I agree. Yeah.
It was just wonderful. I just loved it. What was your favorite bit about this?
God, it's really hard to pick.
Actually, favorite scene. What
favorite scene?
Yeah, what was the favorite scene in this?
I think it's the scene where he carries Elizabeth into that cave and she dies. Because it's just so, like, it's tragic and beautiful and I don't know. She just looks stunning with the whole, like, just being in that white wedding dress again. Stunning.
Oh my God, yes.
What a dress. And like just
the red
front is just like red. Because it's called the unexpected red theory in film, where like you don't expect red to be like in certain scenes.
Oh, okay.
It's just like a different way of like visual storytelling. So like a scene will have like, you know, blues and greens or whatever, and then suddenly there's red. You know, so it's just
Schindler's List.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's another example of that. It's just a way of putting like, because red obviously like symbolizes love and intensity and like passion and everything. So it's just a way of putting red into a scene.
Okay.
So it's called the unexpected red theory.
Did not know that.
Yes, that's something for everybody to learn today. So yeah, it was shocking and you know, like tragic, and it's just, yeah, I don't know, I just really love something about it was just really felt, and I think the ending as well is really special to me. Yeah.
For me, the ending, I think
was really beautiful.
It was so
beautiful. Just that
beautiful.
shot of the creature standing in front of the rising sun was just...
It was like that really hopeful ending. Like, I'm always one for a hopeful ending, you know?
Yeah.
And I did not expect to have a hopeful ending in this.
Yeah.
Like, actually...
Yeah, because
I mean, the book doesn't have
when you've read
one,
it, you
know?
expect the end. That's what the ending is going to be. So,
but it was so...
But something about it, because I knew it was... Because, you know, it's Guillermo, I was like, oh, you know, there'll be some kind of hope in there, but not so much that the ending would be hopeful.
It's not like,
know?
it's a happy ending. It's not a happy ending.
No.
But there is hope there.
There is hope there.
You know, maybe he'll find
something.
You know, maybe he'll find someone who will accept him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I would say the ending as well for me, definitely. But my favorite bit is him in the cottage with the old man. I think that was my favorite.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like in the book it's my favorite, and in this it was my favorite.
Yeah.
Where he's learning about...
I don't know that actor's name, but he was in Harry Potter too. And I literally just looked at you and I was like, how is this man not still alive?
Maybe he was very young. Not very young, but maybe he was like way younger. He just looks old.
He looks older in Harry Potter? I don't know, but I was just like, how is he alive?
Well,
oh my God.
From the first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's been there right from the start.
Felch, yeah.
Yeah, oh my God, gosh.
Anyway.
That's funny.
And that's yeah.
Well, I had one thing that I kind of observed, not about the film in this, but in general, right? So we watched Poor Things. Poor Things is kind of a Frankensteinian tale, right?
Yeah.
You would say. Except that, you know, she's not made out of body parts, but her brain
is someone else's.
Right? It's a baby's brain.
Yeah.
Now, as far as I know, I think the author is also a man. Sorry. Alistair Gray is the one that wrote Poor Things. The book. And one of the things that... Now, I have not read the book. I've only watched the movie.
Yeah.
And while I liked the movie, I found some flaws in it.
Yeah.
And weirdly enough, Frankenstein has highlighted it for me a lot more. Because as I mentioned, it is a Frankensteinian tale. And now I'll probably cop a lot of flack for this. Luckily, there's not that many people listening, so that's fine. I was thinking of doing a TikTok about it, but anyway. But what I was trying to say was, when you watch Poor Things, very quickly, the main character, I can't remember her name now, Emma Stone's character. Bella. You know, she goes through the processes of a baby and all of that stuff, but very quickly things turn very sexual.
Yeah.
Right? And then that theme sort of continues throughout the film. Yeah. Right? And that's, in a sense, okay, because that is also part of being a human, right? Yeah. But one of the criticisms I had with that film was that it focused too much on the sexuality part of it and not so much on her academic pursuits and her mental pursuits, right? They would say that, she's doing this, but they would never show us. Yeah. But they would show a lot of sex. Yeah. Right? The detailed sex scenes, but they didn't even show us her going in for one of the salons that she liked going for. Yeah. That was my big criticism, right? Yeah. And then you have Frankenstein, which, and I'm comparing the book here and the film. You have a creature that is basically a baby and learns, and it's all about philosophy and language and brain. Yeah. Right? Not brain, like, you know, your mind. You're learning about the world that you're in. Yeah. Sex isn't even part of it. Yeah. He's learning about relationships. Yeah.
Companionship,
love. Yeah. Compassion, family. Yeah. You know? That sort of thing. And I just thought, it's a really interesting contrast to see. Yeah. And of course, you know, these books are written way apart from each other, different people writing it. But I just thought it was an interesting observation that you have this. Yeah. You know, and this is coming from the mind of a woman.
Yeah. Mind of a Woman in a time when that was valued above everything else.
Like academic pursuits and knowledge was a very important thing.
Yeah.
And you could say, very clearly women have been oppressed sexually, and that makes sense for that story.
Yeah.
But that was all they showed, and it was just, I feel like it was shown in a very exploitative manner.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was a really interesting little parallel between the two stories.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Right there.
Okay. No, I think, it's an interesting, I agree somewhat, but like, as we've said, it's a different take.
Yeah.
On.
It's a different story. Kind of completely.
Story. But anyway, we finish up. I mean, there's been so many Frankensteinian type stories. We've had the original 1930s movies, which are very good. I think people should watch them. Like, when they first came out, they were instantly considered classics.
Yeah,
they are obviously now long time classics. They're
that's the image you get in your head when you think of Frankenstein.
Yeah, that is what you think of. I haven't seen the Kenneth Branagh one, but
I haven't either.
I don't know if I want to.
It's Kenneth Branagh and Helena Bonham Carter. Yeah.
And Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro is the creature.
And I'm like, jeez, might watch it because it's Robert De Niro.
True.
And I really,
it would be interesting.
Really do love him, but I don't know. Anyway, but all that to say, like, I feel like this is very, very close and does it really, really well, and I'm happy with it.
I'm happy with it as well.
I really
Me
love
too.
it.
I am happy with it.
Like we said, performances are great. Direction is, of course, amazing. The themes stand out really well, and visually stunning. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, like a big melodramatic opera.
Yes.
Which is kind of what he was going for.
True.
So, yeah.
True.
And let's see if he directs Phantom of the Opera next.
I don't know. I
don't know. I would love to ask him. It was like, do you want to tell it as the story, like the novel musical story, or do you want to tell it as the musical?
Oh, yes.
Like, what is he planning to do? I want to know.
I almost don't want the musical.
I almost don't want the musical. Like, we've got the musical.
Yeah.
Like, you can go see it on stage. I agree. That's where it thrives.
Let's just look at it as a story.
We have that terrible Gerard Butler movie. Which, sorry, I just can't stand by.
It's all good.
Emmy Rossum is great in that, but Gerard Butler, no.
No.
So I almost want him to, like, tell the original story. Like, Eric.
Yes.
Like, because the Phantom has a name. It's Eric. Like, let's humanize him. Let's,
absolutely.
Let's find out who he is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so...
Okay, so if you guys enjoyed this, please give us a follow and leave us a review and go onto all of our socials, which will be linked on here. Our next episode is going to be Stranger Things season 4. And then we will be getting ready to watch the actual show. And any announcements on what our episodes are going to be will be on Instagram anyway. Yeah. And so please hope you guys enjoyed this. And let us know what you thought of Frankenstein if you watched it. The book and the movie.
The movie, yes. And, what your favorite thing was, your favorite character, favorite scene, like we talked about. Yep. Do you share it with us? So, let us know.
And in the meantime,
we will talk to you next time.
Bye.